I need this quarantine to end. Even though I'm not even self-quarantined, I'm just staying home. And oh my God, I'm so fucking bored. I'm so fucking bored. I might go to work tomorrow or next week. Because let's be real, nobody's there. And I might be able to keep a little bit of my sanity. What's left of it. Rose is keeping me company, though, because Bella works overnight, so Rose is keeping me company. Right, Rosie? Right, Rosie? Say hi to everybody. Hello? Why are you giving me that blank stare? Hello? Rosie? Maybe I'll show you guys a video of what Rosie does if I say, "Where's Mommy?" Oh yeah, you perk up. I'll show you. Hi, baby. So, yeah. This game might close, for good, because there's nobody left that has any money to spend on it. No, but seriously. This is a really old GAC video that I just never got around to doing the voiceover for. Also, part of me just didn't want to do it because I always lose to Obi Rod without fail. By the way, Rose's new favorite toy is a First Order Stormtrooper. She rips it to pieces and swings it around. And you know how, you hear it going? There she goes. You know how a Jack Russell will take a toy and just shake it like you would a rodent or a squirrel? That's what Rosie does with her First Order Stormtrooper. Right, Rose? You little psycho? You little homicidal psycho? Yeah. But you're the cutest little psycho. Okay, so the markets have been shitty. I think my non-professional opinion, it's going to take 3 months for the markets to get back, not even on track, not back to where they were, but 3 months for the markets to start coming back, in a good way. I think the worst of the pandemic will be long over by then. I think the worst of the pandemic is either now or in the coming week or two. I think that most countries' numbers are leveling out with the exception of Italy and Iran. And I think we're still going to get more numbers here in the States. For us, that's probably largely due to the complete lack of testing that went on and the testing that's now going on for people that, some of them probably already had it, may not have realized it, or just thought it was a bad cold or something. Italy, I read an article on CNBC. Italy's high rates can be attributed to their family dynamics, insofar as they are multi-generational dwellings. So probably what happened is your millennials in Italy went out and got all their grandparents sick and killed the grandparents. That's not a joke. That is more or less what the article said. It said it a little bit more politely than that, but that is basically what I gleaned from that article. So again, as I've said in previous videos, stay away from your grandparents. Stay away from the sick. I saw another article that said that 99% of Italy's deaths so far had underlying conditions. So again, now maybe it's just confirmation bias, but I don't think so. I mean, it certainly seems like more and more people are pointing to these risk factors, underlying conditions, young people getting too close to old people getting sick and dying. Also, I saw an article that I don't remember where, but it's here in the States. A nursing home was used as a polling station in one of the Democratic primaries. And it may, in fact, have been that one in Washington. I just don't remember exactly. But, oh my God, if we used a nursing home as a polling station, sure, that was before the virus was really officially declared here, even though it was already here. But yeah, that explains for a lot of infections and deaths, certainly. You have Gen Pop coming into your fucking nursing home to cast ballots. I mean, fuck. That's a terrible idea. That's just terrible. So I think that I do think I'm cautiously optimistic that the worst is over. I don't want to put the Kanahara on it, but I don't know. I think that we as a country were pretty late to responding to this virus for one reason or another. And I think that now, for the most part, appropriate steps have been taken, some of them a little bit after the fact, a little on the late side, but better late than never. So I think that we are going to turn it around very, very, very soon. I live in New York City, which is, I think, the most densely populated city in the country. And there's nobody out. So at least here in Manhattan, people are obeying the recommended social distancing and shelter-in-place stuff, even though it's not officially shelter-in-place. My mom, who is ESL, she's Japanese, she texted me, she said, "We have to go to a shelter?" No, Mom, we do not. Shelter-in-place means stay home. My mom has been a hypochondriac all her life, and it's actually paying off some serious dividends now, because she gave me like half a dozen bottles of Purell, like a dozen surgical and N95 masks, most of which I gave out to my doormen because they're the ones that actually have to deal with people. I can just sit up here on my couch and watch Naked and Afraid and play Star Wars. So I'm good, and I drive myself to work every day, so I'm good. Even when I do go to work, which I have not. I think Bella is seeing a side of me that she has never seen before, because I get a little stir crazy and I get a little cabin feverish. And she goes, and this is coming from Bella, who's pretty weird herself. She goes, "You're fucking weird." And yep. By the way, I'm not going to win this Padme battle. So, yeah, I do think the worst is over. Do your best. I do think that there are other states in the country that are even slower, or have been even slower in their response than the rest of the country, which has been slow to begin with. So I think that you may see a significant uptick in cases in those states. Luckily, a lot of those states are far less populated, so it's a little bit easier for them to social distance. It is not, however, easier for them to work from home, because a lot of those states, that's where all the industry is. So it's, I mean, if you're a logger, you can't work from home, right? If you work in any kind of a plant, you can't work from home. You're either getting furloughed or fired, or you're working at work. Yeah, I mean, construction trades, you can't work from home, right? I mean, the automakers shut down their plants yesterday. All three, the big three, they shut down their plants. So, I mean, not for nothing, ain't nobody buying a car right now. But that affects everybody. One thing that I've learned in watching CNBC over the last decade or so and investing over the last decade or so is that everything, pretty much everything, has some sort of an economic repercussion one way or the other. I mean, any sort of geopolitical event is going to have some sort of a macroeconomic consequence. Obviously, this is an exaggerated example of that, coronavirus, but I mean, you look at something goes wrong in the Middle East, that's going to affect oil, that's going to affect national security, and there's a trickle-down effect for pretty much every single geopolitical event. And although this one is certainly out of the norm, I would certainly say that coronavirus counts as some sort of a geopolitical event because it does involve politics, responses or lack thereof, and so everything has some sort of an economic outcome. So do your best, hang tough, try to entertain yourselves as I'm trying to do by recording videos. Got to get that side hustle going, right? I'm not making any overtime because I'm not working. I am getting paid. I haven't gotten furloughed or fired. But I'm not making any overtime because I'm not working, so I got to get my side hustle going, my YouTube side hustle. Galactic Legends coming out finally this week, I think. By the way, I cannot believe I lost this battle, but whatever. The kits are fucking insane. The kits are insane. I like that Rey has synergy with JTR and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has synergy with Crew. Like very much so if you look at the kits, especially Crew. He gets when he attacks someone that's stunned, it's just like woof. So yeah, hopefully those will be coming out tonight or tomorrow. Today is Thursday, right? So, right? Yeah. So they'll do the update today, assuming, and then they'll release it for either tonight or tomorrow, Friday, when they all get to work, because, they don't like to release things now without them at work to address any issues that pop up. This is a very suboptimal resistance cleanup, I guess, as it were, to Malik. I usually, if I'm running Finn lead, it'll work, but Finn is not available, so I gotta make do with what I got here, and I don't know that it's gonna go over super well. I need to get some stuns on this motherfucker or I am in trouble. Oh boy. 6 Zetas per Galactic Legend. I am so glad I have 12 Zetas saved up. After Darth Revan and Gas, I made a promise to myself that I was never going to get caught with my pants down with regard to Zetas, because I was very late on fully Zeting Darth Revan and a couple of other characters. So I finally learned how to hoard Zetas, and I have enough for both. I just have to get them. Still a little bit unclear with the attempt tickets thing. I'm assuming they're going to be earned via TB and I guess TW. I don't remember. I have to go look that up. It would be nice if they were earned through raids, but that would be far too easy. So, yeah, those kids are fucking sick. A little disappointed to not see Rey with Force Lightning, but I get CG's mindset insofar as they thought that that was not appropriate because that was an outlier. That was the exception, not the rule, which is totally fair. I get it. That was an accident on Rey's part. So I could see why they would not want to include that in her kit. It makes sense. I will give them at least that much credit. Still would have been fucking badass to see Rey with a Force Lightning in this game. But I absolutely 100% agree with the sentiment and the reasoning behind CG's decision to not give her a Force Lightning. Little disappointed to see that Kylo does not have a Knight of Ren summonable tune. Extremely disappointed to see that. All right, so I lost to Obi Rod. Final score, who cares?